Well, incredible scenes, of course, here in Singapore as these two men, after all this time, it's been such a build-up, hasn't it, to this meeting, finally came together and shook hands at that moment. Of course, it was a crucial moment, really, because Donald Trump said it was going to be the moment where he would be able to tell, really, whether they were going to be able to strike up some kind of relationship. He said he'd do it within the first minute. In the end, they met for around 40 minutes. But just before they spoke, or went into that meeting, they did speak briefly. Kim saying he hoped they could overcome all prejudices with the US, and Donald Trump saying he's predicting great results. And afterwards, well, it seemed to have gone pretty well. I mean, as I say, they spoke for 40 minutes roughly, and Donald Trump said very, very good afterwards when asked about how that meeting went. They've now gone into wider meetings before they break with lunch. Various other dignitaries and officials involved in those wider meetings, including Mike Pompeo, of course, the US Secretary of State involved in that very much as well. But really, so much at stake, as you say, Delano. I mean, obviously, they're both trying to thrash out the details of what this agreement's going to be with so many different issues that they want resolved. For the North Koreans, what they're after is that sanctions relief, of course. A lot of people have been saying up to this that actually they don't need any more to do any more nuclear testing, because actually they've got to the point where they have the nuclear bombs that, of course, they've sought for so long. And now what they need is those economic sanctions to try and revive the country's economy. From Donald Trump's point of view, where he has really wanted that denuclearization, but not just a vague promise, some kind of official way where that can be charted all the way through the process to ensure that it continues to happen, not just over the next month or so, of course, but over the next 20 years. One of my guests was saying to me earlier on he thought this whole process would last. But it does seem to have gone pretty well. We also heard from Moon Jae-in, in fact, a South Korean president, who said everyone's attention is on Singapore. He said he couldn't sleep last night with the anticipation, and he sincerely hopes that these talks, which are going on here today, will succeed.